listening to Rob Garvey's The Electric Wave on Near FM 90.3. Get in touch on Twitter or Facebook at hashtag The Electric Wave.
Yeah, hashtag the Electric Wave. Thank you very much, Groucho, for doing that. Please do get in contact at hashtag the Electric Wave. I'm not doing any live tweeting tonight because I've got loads of stuff to do in the background, so it's keeping me busy as it is. That was Vince Clarke with Fergal Sharkey and Never Never. Got to number 4 or 5 or somewhere around there in the charts, and I love it. And here is Vince Clarke with Alice Moya, one of the greatest voices ever in pop history. This is from 2008 when they came back to the Olympia Theatre in Dublin and did this live. This is Situation.
Don't make such move.
Hey, you're listening to Rob Garvey's The Electric Wave on Near FM 90.3. Hashtag The Electric Wave.
Yeah, Groucho gets it right every time. This is still the Electric Wave. If you've listened, you've sort of tuned in expecting to hear the stuff and you're hearing all live audiences. The reason you're hearing things like that was Vince Clarke, Alison Moyet from the Olympia Theatre in Dublin from 2008. They got back together after all those years together, and they did that live. And you know what? I'm proud to say I was actually standing there in front of them, and to hear Alison Moyet sing that stuff with Vince Clarke in the background was just fantastic. Okay. And that's enough of me going on about that. Yazoo, Reconnected is the name of the album. If you want to get your hands on it, and it's just well worth doing. What you're hearing right now in the background is what Vince does a lot of nowadays. Obviously, he's still in Erasure, but he does a lot of remixing for bands. I presume they sort of pay him per remix or something. And here's one of my favourite remixes of the last couple of years from 2014. This is Future Islands, the Vince Clarke remix of Doves. Have a listen to this. Remember, we've got Peter from Circuit 3 coming up after the half hour. Get in contact 087 6944 500 or get me on Twitter. I'm not doing much tweeting tonight because there's loads of stuff going on here in studio. Hashtag The Electric Wave. Here's Doves. Yeah, I just love the way that sort of floats around the air. He's just great at doing it. That is Vince Clarke remixing Future Islands. Future Islands is the guy that sort of became famous for the way his stage performance. Seasons Waiting for You was the big track they had. But that was Doves. I think it was one of the follow-up to that track, and Vince did a remix on it, and it's great. And actually, speaking of remixes, Vince Clarke, I just had a quick look at the bands he's remixed. I'll quickly run through them. I'd be here all night just to call them out. But I can see, obviously, he remixed Erasure, and we're going to play a couple of tracks that he actually remixed from his own band later on. He did some Happy Monday stuff. He did a bit for Betty Boo back in the 80s. He did some Time Frequency, Sparks, White Town. You remember White Town, Your Woman? He remixed one of their tracks. He did the Saturdays more recently in the early 80s, or the early 2000s. He did some stuff for Goldfrapp. He did Andy Bell himself, obviously he remixed that. He did Blancmange, a great remix of Blancmange, which we'll have to play some night. He did absolutely loads and loads and loads of different remixes. And I'm going to play, and he also did a lot of collaborations. We will play some more collaborations near the end of the night. I was putting together a list of tracks that are going to play tonight, and I came up with 20 songs. I know I'm going to get about 10 to 12 songs in the show, but I could have had a list of 50 songs. So, I mean, you know, there's only so much I can do. And apologies if I don't play your favourite Vince Clarke remix from the B-side of a single that was released in Saudi Arabia. You know, something as obscure as that. That's how much stuff he did. And if you want to get all the stuff, obviously go online and get most of it there. But half of the fun with looking after the stuff he did was finding something that you didn't know he did. Like that. I did not know he actually remixed the Doves for Future Islands, and I love what he did with it. Okay. If you're just tuning in at 1:30, this is the Electric Wave. I am Rob Garvey, and this is Near FM. And in about 10-15 minutes time, we're going to go into a little bit of ads now. About 10-15 minutes time, we'll be talking to Peter live from a Circuit Tree. Circuit Tree we played in the show there. He's an Irish guy, an Irish band, and I love the stuff to do. And we're going to do the Irish Electric, and we're going to play 2 tracks from him, and both tracks are actually Yazoo, so they're Vince Clarke influence track, because he actually wrote them. We're going to play that for you in about 10 minutes time. We've also got the Now and Then section, which I'm going to do from Erasure. We're going to do Vince Clarke remixes of Erasure from Now and Then. We're going to have the final vinyl for you at the end of the night as well. I got a good big chunk of heavy duty 12-inch vinyl going to play for you near the end of the night. We've got everything. We'll cram everything in the last half an hour. So if you're only tuning in now, stay exactly where you are, and we'll get the last half an hour, and you're going to enjoy every single bit of it. We're going to go into the ads now. We're going to come back after that, do probably 2 Erasure tracks, and then I'll see if I can get Peter on the line here from Circuit Tree. So have a look and have a listen to what else is going on all around Near FM.
Across Northeast Dublin
90.3.
This is Near FM.
Social Fabric, Monday 4:30 p.m. on Near FM 90.3. Conversation with guests about their jobs, their passion, and how they interact and contribute to the community. With music chosen by our guests, we explore how some songs have lasting positive impact on them. Join us on Monday 4:30 p.m. on Near FM 90.3.
Sometimes you might forget, but every one of us is still at risk from COVID-19. But every time we do the right thing, we're protecting ourselves and the people around us. So next time you meet up, just take a step back. Let's all keep cleaning those hands and wear a face covering when you're shopping or on public transport. If you cough or sneeze, cover it or have a tissue handy. And download the COVID Tracker app to be one in more than 1 million. Because COVID-19 is still a problem, and we're all the answer. From the HSE.
Is é ar win na mucha animal chláir oscuil ar chrailta ar Near FM ag a leithní cú go dtí séadlóg ón leon go dtí an íine, agus bíon acrail ag a néadlóg an bhaidín dar gion. Ba bhaidlíonn cuir a hort den láirthirí agus a dhíine eile obair a dhéanamh ar an gláir go ag a seo ar rinne seachtaire. Mas mín leat a bheith gobla go John McLean is féidir rífos a heol a chuig volunteering ag near.ie. Is é iver an stáisiún ná a náid a hain, hoogta sé a seach a hain a ní a náid.
Did you know that Near Media Co-op does not receive core state funding? Friends of Near gives friends and supporters the chance to actively support this community media work. Simply go online, look for near.ie/friends or phone even the office at 01 867 1190. In fact, for less than 2 cups of coffee a month, your donation will support Near FM. So thank you, and thanks to the Friends of Near.
Across Northeast Dublin, your voice here.
90.3.
Text 087 69 44 500.
Near FM.
Yeah, text 087 69 44 500. That's the way she says it. I normally say text 087 69 44 500. But either way, text me and let me know what you think about Mr. Vince Clarke. That's our special today. It's all about Vince Clarke today. And this is Vince with Andy doing what they do best. This is from their brand new album, but it's a remix that Vince has done of his own band. It sounds a bit strange, but it's what they've done. This was the first single, the lead single off the new album called Love You to the Sky, and this is Vince remixing it. We'll be back with another remix from Andy straight after this one, from Vince actually. Here's Love You to the Sky.
I wanna kiss you, baby. I wanna be near you, baby. I want to climb inside your head. I'm stronger to know that you care. I love you to the sky, 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 sky. And I tell you lies, 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 lies. You can be my summer romance. Say it's not an omen. Tell me that you want me. I love you to the sky, 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 sky. And I tell you lies, 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 lies. Baby, say it's me you're holding. We got time for something. Say that you're mine only. I wanna see you, baby. Ooh. Come closer, baby. Ain't gonna hurt you, baby. Know that I miss you, baby. And you know that I'm laughing inside. You can see through my disguise. And I want to climb inside your head. I'm stronger to know that you care. I love you to the sky, 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 sky. And I tell you lies, 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 lies. You can be my summer romance. Say it's not an omen. Tell me that you want me. I love you to the sky, 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 sky. And I tell you lies, 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 lies. Baby, say it's me you're holding. We got time for something. Say that you're mine only.
It's Thursday. It's near FM 90.3. It's somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. And you're listening to Rob Garvey's The Electric Wave. Hashtag The Electric Wave.
Everybody's intent on killing someone. The streets are closed and there's a kid on the run. The bullets scream out from gun to gun. Everybody's intent on being someone. Cold and darkness of the criminal zone. Wrapped in blankets, gotta keep ourselves warm. A child in the arms of a teenage mom. Who will be there? Who will be the next victim of the criminal dawn? Old friends meet on the edge of town, sharing conversation, hoping things will soon get better while their children meet. Got the world at their feet, not knowing what's around the corner. Are we living for an uncertain future?
Let me just try something. That was the second Erasure track. Peter, are you on the line? Can you hear me, as I say?
I can hear you perfectly, Rob. How are you?
I'm very good. That's great. If you're just tuning in, this is Peter from Circuit Tree, and I'm going to be talking to him straight after the track. I'm going to play a quick track first, Peter, if you don't mind, because it's my favourite track and I love it. But before I do play it, can you tell me who it is, the voice on it? I'm going to play, what am I playing? I'm playing In Your Room. Who's the child voice? Is that your own child that's at the beginning of this? No.
No, it's not. It's from an online archive of public domain sounds where somebody got a child's toy and recorded it. It is a bit creepy, isn't it?
Well, I actually love it. Creepy. I thought it was quite sweet, as to say. Maybe it's creepy sweet.
Maybe that tells you more about me than you ever need to know.
Or it might tell you more about me, actually, as well. Well, I'll tell you what, this is Peter from Circuit Tree. We're going to talk to him about the new album, the new collaboration, I suppose, the collaboration album that's coming. It's out next week, isn't it, officially?
It is. It's out on the 35th anniversary of Upstairs at Eric's, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to play this for you first. This is In Your Room by Circuit Tree with the creepy or sweet voice, depending which way you look at it, at the beginning of it. And I absolutely love this. And it's probably because of this that we have all this show going on today, and because we've Peter on the line. So let's play this now, and I'll come back to him in 3 minutes and tell us all about everything else. Have a listen to this first.
Celebrate the assumption of memory. Our fall of watching. I stand alone and watch the clock. I only wait for it to stop. In the room, locked up inside me. Cut out magazines remind me. I sit and wait alone in my room.
And there it goes off into the distance. That is Circuit Tree. Peter, is that you on vocals on it? It is, I presume.
It is.
Oh, you are
I
still
am Circuit 3. I'm a one-man entity.
Well, it sounds a lot more than just a one-man entity, I tell you. I think it sounds fantastic. I had heard that, and I think I might have played it maybe nearly a year ago originally, and I didn't know where you were from. I didn't know where from. It could have been anywhere in the world. I just thought the production of it was fantastic. Do you do that? I mean, have you got a massive studio somewhere in, I don't know, in a big glass tower in somewhere?
Dublin. Yeah, I live in an ivory tower on the north side of Dublin. No, I have a studio in my house, which is full of dusty old synthesizers, dusty new synthesizers, a few drum machines, a computer, and a few microphones. That's probably why I love this music, because I've played in bands, but I love doing stuff by myself. Yeah. And also doing long distance collaboration is fun. Yeah,
that seems to be the way. When you look at back, I mean, I'm trying to play as many sort of Vince Clarke tracks as I can tonight, and it's impossible to do it. But when you look back at what he did, and you see his interest in synths and studios and electronics and all that, and you see these massive rooms full of masses of equipment, you go, oh my God, how can anybody afford that? But then you look what you can do now. I presume, well, maybe you'll tell me wrong, but I presume you can do a lot of what he can do back then now on, well, a laptop or something along them lines. No? Or am I naive in thinking that?
Yeah, no, not at all. You can do a huge amount. Yeah. In the live shows, for example, in the Yazoo reunion tour, he did everything from a laptop, and I believe in the current Erasure tour he does pretty much everything from a computer. Now, there's purists who will complain about analog purity and so on. I fall right in the middle. I love using the laptop because it gives me access to stuff that is just physically challenging to maintain and get your hands on, like old Fairlight sounds, and it allows me to do stuff on the road. It lets me do stuff live. So I sit in the middle. I use what we call in the box, and I use actual hardware as well, because there's something cool about the lovely tactile experience of adjusting sounds as they're playing.
And then for us at the other end, just listening to it, I mean, I won't say we don't care what goes into it. Obviously we do, but what comes out the other end is the important part for the listener. And for me, and I said it before I played that, I don't know how you get the production sounding just perfect on it. For me, it sounds fantastic to my ear, so, and that's what counts to me, you know. Anyway, sorry, if you just tuned in, we are talking to Peter, I was going to say from Circuitry, but you are Circuitry. It's Peter Fitzsimons, isn't it? Sorry, Fitzsimons? I got it wrong.
Fitzpatrick.
Sorry, apologies. Peter Fitzpatrick from Circuitry. Are you Irish? Are you based in Ireland? Or are you from somewhere else? Or what's the background there?
Yeah, I am. I'm originally from Dublin, originally from Tala. But I'm
We're on a north side radio station now, you know that,
So I'm now living over in the north side of Dublin. Yeah. I still have my old Southside passport, though, and a visa and everything, so I'm good. But I've travelled a little. I have lived abroad, and I was a professional musician and composer in New York for a few years. I used to work in the very early stages of computer CD-ROM technology, and I worked at sort of the bleeding edge of that, earning very little money but having a lot of exciting times.
And did you always sort of produce music? Because I think you've had one official album out, is it, so far? Officially, maybe?
As Circuit 3, I've had one album out. I have done stuff in the past. I'm extremely old. I started making tape music back in the early 80s. And I've been in and out of bands. I paid my way through college playing in a rock and blues band as a keyboard player. I had shoulder length hair and used to bring synthesizers down and played with some of the guys from Lizzie, and did a couple of gigs with Gary Moore one time, and just stuff like that. So I have a broad background, but my heart and soul is in electronic music.
You have to blown the image now that we have now. You can see with the long hair and all that, you know, it's gone.
That's a long time ago. Okay. I don't look like that now.
So, speaking of long hair and that, I mean, are you doing any gigs? Are you gigging about at the moment, or are you doing like that, or that you want to mention?
At the moment, no, but I have done. So over the past year, I've played. Let me see. I think if it was to look at highlights over the last year, it would be last year's Electric Picnic. It was great fun. I also played Electro London a week later in, as you can probably imagine, London. And earlier in just before those, we'd also launched sort of a one-off electronic night called the Electric Room, which is kind of cool. In town, sold at night with the folks from the two lads from Kubo. So I do enjoy getting out, and I've done some other festivals around town. There's one called Idio Phrenonics, I can never pronounce the name of it, in the Freemasons Hall in Molesworth Street, which was a fascinating gig. So I do stuff with video projection, and I play live, I sing live, and I have the computer assisting on, you know, some of the drum tracks and so on. So it's a fun experience. I really enjoy it. It just takes time, and when you're doing shows, you can't write and record. Yeah. So if you can't write and record, you can't do new material. So you have to juggle the two and take breaks.
Right. Well, we'll keep us up to date. I mean, if you're doing anything live, obviously let us know, and we'll let everybody else know. Right. I just want to get on to what's coming out next week and what the actual album is. It's 35 years since Upstairs at Eric's, and Upstairs at Eric, for anybody who knows or doesn't know, and I probably do know if they listen to the show, is Yazoo, Vince and Alison sort of... I mean, there's only 2 albums, but there isn't really a definitive album from the both of them, is there? Or would you say this is it? That's very appropriate there, isn't it? This is it, yeah.
It is. I think for anybody into synth pop, this is the benchmark that everybody aspires to. I came out in 82, August 20th, and I was a huge fan at the time. Before the album even came out, I was in the fan club based on the first single, and used to buy up every release I could get. And it's just a huge album for folks who are into synth pop. And when you for the geeks among us who really get into the equipment, and when we know what they had to use, and the work that Eric Radcliffe, who was Vince's partner in the Assembly, who you played earlier, they really did amazing work. Eric had worked with Depeche as engineer on previous records.
You said it a lot. That's what I was trying to say earlier on. I knew Eric was involved in Depeche Mode, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. He was producer or such, and then he went with him to Yazoo, and then they put together Upstairs at Eric. And so have you put the whole album together that's been released? So you just re-recorded that album? Yeah, it is that complete album.
I've re-recorded the entire album, including the strange spoken word track I Before E Except After C, which features a whole bunch of friends from around the world. So we re-recorded the entire album, and I did it because I wanted to take a break from writing new material. I'd written, about 18 songs, and I was just getting bogged down in producing them, so I took a break. And this is something I've wanted to do since 1982 anyway. And I reached out to some friends, Neil Francis, and then I contacted a band called Promenade Cinema, who are also based in the UK, and a local undiscovered talent, Andy Patchell, who is a member of a group called the 1982, who are just about to go live. They do a lot of classic, the obscure 80s and not typical 80s covers live. They're rather wonderful. Himself and Sean Barron from the Irish group I European working on that. So I got those folks in to do some vocals.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye out for him live. I tell you, we're going to play... what am I going to play from it? I said I played it in my room. We're going to play Midnight. Now, I know you've got a guest vocalist on Midnight, because how did you pick me? Alison Moya's vocals on Midnight, if anybody knows that track, they'll know it. They're just amazing, the vocals that she does on the original version of Midnight. And who have you got doing vocals on Midnight?
So Neil Francis is doing the vocal. And some of you may think... I recognise the name. So there was a viral video from about 2 or 3 years ago where a guy was videoed singing Erasure's Respect on the London Underground, and it's had millions of views. That's Neil. Neil is an incredible vocalist, and he has released material himself, and he didn't hesitate. He really wanted to do this. He really wanted to do Midnight. It's a big song for him, and everybody who's heard it has been blown away by its performance.
It's a track that stood out for me from what I heard. It's amazing.
The strength of what Alison did on the original album, and why change what's broken? He just stayed true to the original track.
100% agree. Right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to play it, because if we don't play it soon, we won't have time to play it. We're going to play it. Thank you very much for talking to Peter from Circuit Tree. You have said you're going to give us one of them albums, and we'll give it away probably next week. So tune in next week and we'll see what we can do about giving that away. And we're going to play this for you now. Where can they go and get this stuff if they want to get it, Peter, before we do play it?
If you go to circuit3.com, that's circuit3.com.
Okay, there you go, circuit3.com. Peter, thank you very much for talking to me. I'm going to play this for you now. So this is his version. It's out next week officially. Go to circuit3.com, you'll find all the details. This is the wonderful Midnight. This is not Alison Moya. This is... I forgot Nick Lennon. This is Neil Francis. Of course it is. Neil Francis.
Oh, you'll know his name very soon, I'm sure.
Let's play it. Thank you very much for talking to us, and all the best and everything else you do. Here we go.
Midnight, it's rain outside, He must be soaking wet. Everyone is sleeping tight. God knows I tried my best, but darling, you know it looks bad. Just lost the best thing that I ever had. Well, still I don't know why I did it wrong. Too late now, it's gone to say. Baby, oh no, can't leave me now, say. thought of that, for I did you wrong, yeah, for I did you wrong. I should have thought of that. Ooh, oh, for I did you wrong, honey, yeah. When I saw his face, I could see how bad I let him down. Cheated when he was working hard. I just had to mess around. I knew from the start he had got much money. I should have stayed content with all that good, sweet honey. He's a good, strong man. I love him so, so I don't know. Can I let him go? Say, oh, said, baby, oh no, can't leave me now. Said, just think about it, please. I love you and I need you, and I should have thought of that. For I did you wrong, yeah. For I did you wrong. I should have thought of that. Ooh, oh, for I did you wrong. And now it's midnight, it's raining outside, and I'm soaking wet, so looking for that man of mine, and I am found yet. But all this rain can wash away my tears, nothing can replace all of those wasted years. And all this to tell you, I would let me fire, catch you burn, and I'm still burning. Said, baby, oh no, can't leave you now. Said, just think about it, please. I love you, I need you, and I should have thought of that. For I did you wrong, yeah. For I did you wrong, I should have thought of that. Ooh, oh, for I did you wrong. You say you'll lose your pride, but don't you know, dear? Don't you know I lose so much more if you come now? No, 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 no,
It seems just such a shame to do this, but I'm going to turn it down. I promised to play that in full. We're nearly there, about a minute to go. That is Neil Francis on vocals. That is Circuitry, as in Circuitry Music is where you get him on Twitter, but look up Circuitry. Next week, well, officially next week, it's been released. That's the 35th anniversary of Upstairs at Eric. And I thank you very much to Peter for talking to us on the phone. Talked to us so much that I've ran out of nearly time tonight. I had about another 10 tracks I wanted to play, but we're not going to get to do that. But I'll get them in over the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to play two little snippets and then we're going to say goodbye. Thank you very much for listening tonight to the very special Vince Clarke dedicated The Electric Wave. I'll see you back here next week at 7 o'clock. Coming up after 8, we've got the Near FM sessions. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next week at 7 bells.
Hello, this is Vince Clarke, and I'm about to demonstrate to you some of the things that I've been doing on the Fairlight computer. And these are the different sounds which we've sampled with a microphone. Which we've sampled with a microphone. Which we've sampled